समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. So far we have seen many of the slokas we can chant right from the morning when we get up, then while doing puja, while plucking the flowers for the puja, while taking food, and also some related slokas. Today we will see two slokas which we can chant before going to sleep in the night. This is important because during the day, we will be doing so many actions. See, as Grahasthas remains, we do many work. Unknowingly or unknowingly, we will be doing some good work or bad work. We really do not know. And therefore, it is better we ask forgiveness to Lord if we have done anything wrong. And also to thank Him for giving one more day in my life to live here on the earth. And the first sloka. Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va Shravana nayanajam va manasam va paratham Shravana nayanajam va manasam va paratham Vihidam avihidam va sarvame takshamasva Vihidam avihidam va sarvame takshamasva Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va Shravana nayanajam va manasam va paratham Vihidam avihidam va sarvame takshamasva Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho. The literal meaning of this sloka is O Lord, kindly forgive my wrong actions done knowingly or unknowingly. Knowingly or unknowingly, either through my organs of action or through my organs of perception or by my mind. Glory unto the Lord, who is ocean of kindness. That is the literal meaning of this sloka. So let us see the word by word meaning. Kara means hands. Charana kridam. Charana means our legs. Walk, speech. Kayajam, karmajam, va. Whatever the actions we are done by body. That is organs of action. Like you know the organs of action: mouth, hands, legs, excretory organs, and reproductive organs. They are the organs of action. Then we have Jnanendriyas, organs of perception. Shravana, that is ear. Nayana means our eyes, or by our mind. It implies all the five sense organs and the mind. Va aparatham, might have done some forbidden acts we do not know. Vihidam, avihidam, it may be we might have hurt somebody. It may be pleasing for somebody, it may be unpleasant for somebody, or our actions. Sarvame tashamaswa. So I ask forgiveness for all my actions. Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe. Karunabdhe means ocean of kindness. Sri Mahadeva Shambho. O Lord Shiva Mahadeva. So this is a prayer to God Shiva, asking him to excuse our mistakes and maintain his mercy on us continuously. And also, by God's grace, I completed one more day in my life. For that, we should thank the Lord for that. So this sloka is to ask his mercy and also his forgiveness, and also to thank him. Better to chant before going to sleep, because you know, when you go to sleep, you should have peace of mind. Our mind should be very peaceful and calm to get a good sleep. So naturally, when we are angry with somebody, if we ask forgiveness, we get a lot of relief. Just like that, we do not know the result of our actions. Maybe Papa Karma or Punya Karma, we do not know. So therefore, whatever I have done, I am surrendering to Lord and asking his mercy. This is a slogan taken from Shiva Aparatha Kshamapana Stotram by Shankaracharya. And also you find as a last slogan of Shiva Manasa Puja. That is also written by Shankaracharya. So usually we chant this sloka before going to sleep. Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va Shravana nayanajam va manasam va bharatham Vihidam avihidam va sarvame tatshamaswa Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho. Similarly, there is another sloka usually chanted, but the people usually chant after doing a puja. But this can be chanted before going to sleep also. We should do that because it is also a sloka for complete surrender to the Lord. And this may be very familiar to all of you. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva Kayena vacha manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat Buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat. Karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai. Karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai. Narayanayedi samarpayami. Narayanayedi samarpayami. Okay. So whatever action done by me, all offer to the Lord. So that is again the meaning of the main takeaway from this sloka. Let us see the word meaning. Kayena, again with body, vacha by speech, man, mind, indriya senses. So whatever the action done by body or by speech or by mind or by our indriyas, but how we do these actions, the pujas, Buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhava. Either with my personal knowledge or due to my natural tendencies. We might have learned that this has to be done this way or that way, so we just follow. That is the knowledge we get. And also we have got our own way of doing. That is natural tendencies. Karomi yat yat, whatever I have done, sakalam, all that. Parasmai, even to others, if by my action, if I have hurt anybody else, for that also I ask for forgiveness. I surrender all that. Narayana yedi samarpayami. I surrender all my actions to Lord Narayana. All my actions I surrender to Lord Narayana. When we surrender the actions to Lord, see what really the benefit is, the karma phala, whether it is good or bad, will not attach to me. The karma phala will not attach to me if I surrender to the Lord all my actions. And another important concept of this sloka is the concept of total surrender to the Lord. Submitting not only my actions and also myself also, complete to the Lord. That is the true devotion. Surrendering is the symbol of true devotion to the Lord. Nishkama bhakti. We say Nishkama bhakti. We are not asking anything. We are not asking any prosperity or fame or money or nothing of that sort. We are just surrendering to Lord. Like the Dhruva or Prahlada or Draupadi or Arjuna, they surrender to him like that. See, the sages, when they do yajnas, at the end, they say, Todiyam tupyamiva samarpayami. Everything is yours. When a devotee comes to that stage that God is living in my heart, he realizes that everything is Lord's. Everything in this universe, including me, is yours. So I surrender to you. Take whatever is yours, you take. So after the complete surrender, if we go to sleep, we get a lot of peace of mind. So therefore, this is also a good sloka to chant before going to sleep. Not only after puja, but every action we do is an action towards Lord of the Lord. Is it not? That is how we have to do the action. That is what we have studied so far. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yat 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 is yat yat. Okay. Karomi yat yat sagalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami. So these are the two slokas we can chant before going to sleep. Now, we will see when we visit the temple, what we usually in front of, especially in South Indian temples, in front of the temples, there will be an Ashwatha Vriksha. A banyan tree will be there. Okay. And usually we do pradakshina around it. Okay. And when we do pradakshina around a tree, let it be any tree. Ashwatha Vriksha is a representative of the whole plant kingdom. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I represent Ashwatha Vriksha among all the plants. It is just a symbolized. So that is why it is given a divinity. Because many other reasons are also there. It is highly important from medical point of view also. Its leaves and bark are used, even bud are used in Ayurveda for many ailments. And another importance of Ashwatha Vriksha is it gives out lots of oxygen. That is why it is good to sit below the Ashwatha Vriksha. Even if you go to a village in Karnataka, if you go to a village, there will be a small Devasthana will be there, some small temple. And there will be a big Ashwatha Vriksha, and around that a cemented platform will be there. We can see the people sitting there. It is very good if you can sit for half an hour under the Ashwatha Vriksha. And it is customary that we worship Ashwatha Vriksha by taking pradakshina around it. And in many situations, we can see a murti of God, mostly Nagaraja or Nagarani, or even Ganesha, whatever murti also will be consecrated below the tree. So when we do the pradakshina of tree, it's better to chant a sloka. Mulato Brahmarupaya, Mulato Brahmarupaya, Madhyato Vishnurupaya, Madhyato Vishnurupaya, Agrato Shivarupaya, Agrato Shivarupaya, Vriksharajaya te namaha, Vriksharajaya te namaha. Mulato Brahmarupaya, Madhyato Vishnurupine, Agrato Shivarupaya, Vriksharajaya te namaha. Okay. So this is my salutations to the King of Trees, Vriksharajaya. What's the meaning of it? Mulato Brahmarupaya, whose root is the form of Brahmaji, creator. Root of the tree is the form of Brahma, Brahmaji, not Brahman, Brahmaji. Okay. The middle is the form of Vishnu, who is responsible for the sustenance. Okay. And the top is the form of Shiva, dissolution. Top is the form of Shiva. So all the three, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, is represented by a tree. So that means a tree represents, we are seeing the tree as representing absolute Paramatma, infinite reality. So that infinite reality is functioning through these three processes, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. So this reminds us, in the common parlance, if you take, the importance of the protection of the trees. So not only in view of spiritual, but also environmental aspects are involved in this sloka. That is the importance of this sloka. So when you chant, make the children also chant this mantra or sloka so that they will know the importance of protection of the environment or protecting the trees. Because Ashwatha is a representative of the plants or the plant kingdom. And therefore there's an importance, the social importance are there, spiritual importance are there, and environmental importance is also there. It is maybe our forefathers have had a vision for spreading the knowledge about the importance of trees, so that we have to carry on. Don't take it as just an Ashwatha Vriksha I am doing pradakshina, but it is important in many aspects. So that is why we can chant this when we go to the temple and take a pradakshina around the Ashwatha tree. Mulado Brahma Rupaya Mathyado Vishnu Rupine Agrado Shiva Rupaya Vriksharajaya Te Namaha. Right. Now, after the temple visit, when we go into the temple, into the Garbhagriha where the idol is there, what we do, we open our eyes and see the idol and worship him, and then take that image in our heart, in our mind. Okay. Come out of the temple and we sit outside for 2-3 minutes. That is a custom. Okay. So when you sit outside, we recall the image of the Lord in our mind and chant this sloka, which I am going to tell you. Maybe many may be doing. Okay. Anayasena maranam, anayasena maranam, vinadenyena jivanam, vinadenyena jivanam. It is not bina, it is vina. Sanskrit vina means without. Vinadenyena jivanam, dehande tava sanithyam, dehande tava sanithyam, dehi me parameshwaram, dehi me parameshwaram. Anayasena maranam, vinadainyena jivanam, dehande tava sanithyam, dehi me parameshwaram. Anayasena maranam. We are praying to the Lord, which is in our mind, to give a peaceful death without any bodily troubles. Then, a life without any troubles for the basic needs, without any problem for our basic needs to live. That is without dependency. We should be able to live. And at the time of death, on the deathbed, your presence is to be there. Your presence at the time of my leaving the body. For that, I pray. O Parameshwar, who is always inside my heart. Dehime, in this body, you will always be there. So we are praying the Lord, O Parameshwar, or Lord, need not be any Lord, Ishwar. You be in my heart, inside me. I should get a peaceful death. And while living, I should not have any troubles to meet my basic needs. And I request your presence at the time of leaving my body. So this can be chanted by anybody, need not be only old age. There is a concept that only old age people know. Because the death comes when we don't know. Even the children also die, the babies also die. Middle-aged people also die, old age people also die. So this is the sloga we have to chant in our mind. Okay, after we pray in a temple. And seeing the deity in your mind, recite this sloka. It is not a prayer for any material benefits. It is not a prayer to trouble anybody else. It is a prayer for a peaceful life and death. Anayasena maranam vinagainyena jivanam dehande tava sannithyam dehi me parameshwaram. Okay. So this one important point here is dehande tava sannithyam. When we die at the last moment, we are requesting or praying to Lord to be with me. If the Lord's remembrance has to come in our mind, it should be our habit. We should develop that habit, is it not? And it is very important that the Lord's vision should come at the last moment. Otherwise, what can happen? There is an interesting story of Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata. I don't know whether you have heard about it. There was a monarch, a king, very famous king by name Bharata. And the historians say that India got the name Bharatavarsha because of this monarch, Bharata. It was a very prosperous kingdom, vast kingdom, and people were very happy. The king was very pious, and he loved his prajas or his people as his own children, and people were very happy. But it is customary that the kings, after some age, they will bestow the responsibility to their children or to the son, the eldest son, and they go to hermitage or forest or whatever, to renouncing everything, the kingdom, the family, everything, to leave the body by getting realization. So they usually go to forest, make a small hermitage and do tapas with the minimum facilities and with minimum needs, leaving all the attachments. He also did like that. He went for doing penance and tapas, and he made a hermitage on the bank of a river. Okay. So after so many years, he has become almost like a rishi. One day so happened, he saw a deer coming to take water from the river. All of a sudden, there was a roaring sound of a lion. So the deer got frightened and she wanted to escape. The deer was carrying a child also. I mean, she was having a baby in her stomach. And she jumped across the river but could not reach the bank, and she got drowned in the river. And in this commotion, she gave birth to a child, fowl. And the mother died. And seeing this, the Bharat, by the time he became a sage Bharat got pity on the small one and took the fowl and took to his hermitage and dried the body. And he started keeping that deer, giving milk and whatever, the fodder and all. The deer grew into a beautiful deer. This fowl grew into a beautiful deer. And he got so attached to it. The person who has come out, leaving all the attachments, he got attached to this deer. When it is out of his sight, he will be worried. Oh, whether any wild animals will come and attack him. So he goes in search of it, like that. He got so attached to the deer. So the years passed by and the sage became old and he left his body. But his worry was there about the deer. He was thinking about the deer and died. Next Janma, he became a deer. But because of his good karmas and punyas, what he has done, he could remember everything about his previous life. So though he was born as a deer in a shepherd family, he was keeping away from the folk always. He will be alone roaming around. And he always goes near some hermitage to graze. He will not be with other deers. Like that, because he was thinking about his previous life. Everything came to his mind. He knew that because of this, he has taken a birth as a deer. So again, the years passed by, and naturally, after some years, the deer died. And he took birth in a wise man's family, in a Brahmin's family, as the youngest son. He had many brothers and sisters above him. And this boy grew up, but he never used to talk. He will always keep aloof. He is not interested in anybody. Then they thought that this boy is a dumb fellow. And they used to ignore him. And he will simply sit somewhere. If any work is to be done, he will do, that's all. After some years, his father passed away. And there was some, usually the partition happened because he is a dumb boy, he is not interested in anything. He was not given any property or anything like that. He was not worried also. And he was staying with his brothers and they used to harass him, and especially his sisters-in-law used to harass him and make him do all the work. He used to do everything silently, whatever he can. If he gets the food, he'll eat, otherwise he won't eat. He was like that. One day he just walked after his work and he was sitting under a tree. Then it so happened, a king was coming in a palanquin carried by 4 people. In a palanquin has to be carried by 4 men. He was passing through. When he came near this tree, one of the person who was carrying the palanquin, he fell sick. He was not able to walk. So the others were searching for somebody, some alternative. One more person is needed. He saw this man sitting under the tree, called him, he agreed, he carried. He also joined. But he was so careful that each foot he was keeping, there should not be any ant or earthworm or any worms or anything. He did not want to kill anything. So naturally, the palanquin was not balanced properly. The king got wild. He shouted, "Stop." Then shouted at this person. He called him, "You fool," like that. Immediately, first time in his life, he started talking. He asked, "Whom you are calling as fool? Is it my body is fool? Or my Atma is fool? If that is so, you are also a fool." He started talking about the Jivatma, Paramatma, and this what is permanent, what is impermanent, what is truth, and what is false. All those things he started talking. King was shocked. He thought he is just a person now who is sitting, a passerby. But he came to know that he is not an ordinary person. He is a sage in an ordinary dress. That's all. So he fell down to his feet and asked for forgiveness. And Bharat, the sage Bharat, he blessed the king. So this is a story to tell in Vedanta that the importance of God's remembrance when you are in the deathbed. Your mind, some people will keep some kirtans and all those things, but your mind should be on the Lord. It is not that easy because the people are usually drowned in worldly affairs. They will be thinking about many other things, about their property or about the future of their children, so many things. So that is why detachment is necessary. This is what is asked in this sloka. Dehande tavasa nityam. It's very important. That is the major takeaway from this sloka. I think I can wind up.
Yeah, yes, Auntie. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Sushila.
Thank you.
Sushila ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Jane. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushila.
Thank you.
Thank you.